This video is brought to you by Harold Sack, who gave me a massive 1 year's worth of subscriptions on Patreon. Ghired Mirror of the Wilds versus Codie, Braids and Morska. 3 land opening hand, but no means of fixing our colours, so we'll have to try again with that. Okay, that's a pretty heavy hand. We could get into a 3rd land for Topiary Stomper, but keeping a 3-lander like this is pretty risky. Might be able to draw more cards with Audience of Trostani, so we're basically just praying for a land off the top here. Alright, a turn 1 Exotic Orchard is the very first card to enter play, so we'll not tap for mana. He did try to tap it for mana there, so maybe he's got a Sol Ring in hand. Okay, there is a Terror of the Peaks, so got a couple more turns to get into the land we need. Go for Mirror Pool, because that's always going to be a tap land. We could get an untapped land with Arid Mesa if we want to. Maybe we draw into a Farseek or something. And yep, turn 1 Sol Ring for the Codie player, or actually turn 2. Okay, so a green land here please. Alright, Smothering Tithe is a means of maybe catching up, but not looking hopeful that we'll be able to get down that Topiary Stomper. Winged Boots for the Bant deck. An early Blood Artist for Braids. The mana acceleration continues with a Commander's Sphere for the 5-colour deck. Noteworthy there is a Cascading Cataracts here as well, so he will be able to make Wooburg next turn. Decides to hold off on getting his commander down though, so we'll see if we manage to get into a land here. We do, but it is a tap land, and it's not green either. So Quest for Renewal, we're hoping for yet another land off the top. We'll be able to throw something in the bin here at least. If we don't want it, it'll get us a card deeper. Alright, and that is a Vaultborn Tyrant. We certainly do not want that, so into the graveyard it goes. Morska playing a Lonis now, equipping the Winged Boots on there straight away. So now has Ward 4 and Flying. I'm sure this wasn't on Magic Online straight away when this was released, because it's a very good equipment and I remember wanting to play it but wasn't able to. There's a new Esper equipment and auras deck that's coming out soon, or commander that's coming out soon, so Arna, is it? Something like that. And this will be good in there I think, now that it's available to us. Alright, a Fleshbag Marauder is pretty aggressive, going after the Lonis. You would think that they would go for the Braids there above anything, but I suppose they don't have anything to sacrifice at the moment. Blood Artist ignoring who I think is the threat at the moment in Codie. Okay, and he sacrificed the Blood Artist as opposed to the Fleshbag Marauder, which is weird. So maybe sacrifices this with Braids and then reanimates it. A Confusion in the Ranks, that's the 2nd time I've seen this in 2 games that I've played recently. So we gain control of Confusion in the Ranks, and Quest for Renewal is shoved over here. Okay, and still not getting into a land unfortunately. Azuri's Predation cleared 1 expensive card off the top, but just drew into another one. So I think we're fine just sticking at 7 cards in hand for now, and if we have to go for this, then so be it. Although, yeah, we could draw a card with this now, couldn't we? Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we're just going to have to do that, I think. Although, how does the trigger work? Yeah, we'll get the plant token into play, and this trigger will go on the stack, and then this will resolve first, although we control it, so do we decide how it goes on the stack? Yeah, let's just try it where we don't get into a land next turn, we're just going to have to discard it anyway. Alright, okay, we just draw a card straight away. It's not, yeah, of course, it's a sorcery, so it's not a triggered ability or anything. We get the token and the card draw all at once. So clearing another card off the top in Heat Shimmer. Sentinel of the Nameless City now. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a map token. And then when the map token comes in, able to steal away the Sol Ring. Pawn of Ulamog for the black player will make some discard fodder. Or sacrifice fodder, I should say. Then deciding to keep his Pawn of Ulamog, he targets the Fleshbag Marauder, which will be countered with Ward, so we'll be able to keep our creatures somewhat at least, as long as a Ward creature stays in play. Okay, and it's us that has to pay the Ward cost for some reason. Oh, it's because it's our permanent that's being countered by the Ward trigger. Now Codie, Vociferous Codex into play. Okay, and decides to hand Codie over here and take the Pawn of Ulamog. Alright, turn 5 and still no land. So I think we're best just trying to take a Pawn of Ulamog, and maybe we'll get to make some spawn tokens with that. And we'll just pass the turn at that. The 3-1 flyer goes into the right against the Chaos deck. And Toothy, Imaginary Friend. Now if we gain control of Toothy, that would be good, because we could maybe make a copy of it with the Heat Shimmer and kill the biggest one to the Legend rule. And does take away the Sentinel of the Nameless City from us, so we just have to hope our opponents don't get into any more creatures, which is probably going to be a big ask. Might be that Braids comes down and targets the ward creature though. Did not tutor for Pier when this came into play, by the way. Okay, and then another creature into play, so may well take the Toothy back here. That is a Yoshin Dissident, and yeah, he's only got 2 cards in hand himself, so decided to take Toothy back. And protecting it with the Winged Boots. Dark Ritual makes an additional 2 black mana for the black player. Okay, and then just decides to pass the turn with the Dark Ritual mana for some reason. Talisman of Conviction, followed by a Mirror Maid. Comes down as an artifact or an enchantment, so decides to make a copy of his commander, and then hands it over to Terrax, and exchanges his Sol Ring for it. Okay, and then did he gain control of the Winged Boots somehow? Because he's managed to equip it onto here. I've missed something there. He's got control of his Sol Ring and control of the boots somehow. Oh, it's when he got down the Talisman, so he swapped out the Sol Ring for the Talisman and the Codie for the boots. Alright, turn 6, see if we can get a 4th land here. Nope, so can literally do nothing here apart from make a copy of something with Heat Shimmer, so we could try and steal the Toothy away again. I'll just generically make a copy of the Pawn of Ulamog, and the Pawn of Ulamog is exiled at the end of the turn thanks to the clause on Heat Shimmer. And Terrax deciding to go after the Chaos player with everything, which triggered the map token, so he gets to steal an artifact away, and targeted the Sol Ring again. Witch's Cottage came into play and put the Blood Artist back on top of the deck, because he does control 3 swamps of course, this time making use of the Codie mana. Okay, and then just passing through the turn. So Minamo going to untap over here the Codie, and then it is a pull from tomorrow, so that is draw 4 cards and discard a card for the 5 colour deck. Discards a Flood of Tears to that, and is able to make another land, so this will begin to trigger next turn. Alright, let's see what happens on turn 7. There we go, a Wood Elves. Put the first counter on Toothy. So we'll grab another Surveil land here so that we can try and put another untapped land on top. And we'll just arbitrarily take the Codie here because the Braids player's doing weird stuff like adding mana with it and stuff and taking a while to do it and then not even using the mana. So the faster we can get Braids going through his turn, the better. Let's go Lush Portico. Alright, and there's a Solemn Simulacrum. Could steal an artifact with that. Yeah, let's put that in the bin. We can always go for the Topiary Stomper next turn. Just want to be making lands off the top if we can. Which apparently is too much to ask. So I think we need to try and get the 3-4 to block our Toothy, which it probably won't, but might be able to draw a couple of cards here. Is it equal to the plus counters? Yeah, so we'd only draw 1 card with this. Alright, just chump blocking with Codie as we assumed he would. Swinging in with everything to the right again. And creating a map token to steal an artifact with. Probably takes back his Winged Boots, although he might want a card draw with this. And does decide to take the card draw. Grey Merchant of Asphodel for Braids. Just drains everyone for 2 here. Could steal the Toothy away though. In fact, with the Grey Merchant of Asphodel trigger on the stack, if he doesn't control this, then he won't have Devotion to black, and therefore it won't drain for anything. Okay, decides to point it at the ward card anyway, so we'll get to keep the Gary. And then the 1-1 tries to trade out against the Dragon Broodmaster or whatever this is called. Dragon Master Outcast. Alright, so back to the 5 colour player, and the Dragon Master Outcast will trigger for the first time. Trading the dragon for the Sentinel so it can't keep stealing artifacts. A map token being cracked. Pointed at the Outcast, see what they get here. Revealing to us a sudden substitution. Now this guy's doing a whole lot of talking to himself here. I'm not reading all that, but for any of you that want to, you can pause the video at any point and read through this diatribe. Alright, and then a hard casting of a Devastation Tide after that. So there we are. Commander Sphere being cracked for a card draw by Terrax. And we are going to get to draw a card here because Toothy will leave play, so see if we get into a land this time. How long can we hold on to a Smothering Tithe for, do we think? Nope, just drawing into a Sun Titan. Alright, turn 8. And finally getting to our second land by turn 8. So, we can go for Wood Elves into Topiary Stomper. I think we would keep the Smothering Tithe unless the... Oh, this has been discarded anyway, so our opponent's clearly given up on that. Yeah, Smothering Tithe would be nice, but I think it's just more of a guarantee if we get down the Wood Elves and everything now. So we'll go for a Plateau. Then we can get a Tiger with the Wood Elves, and that'll give us the double green for the Topiary Stomper. We've got Seaborn Muse available to us now, so I'll discard Quest for Renewal, which might be too slow, and we'll get rid of the Predation as well. Yoshin Dissident, and then the Sentinel back out again. And then the map token enters, so the Dissident puts a counter on the Sentinel, and out comes the boots again, probably going to be equipped to the Sentinel. A Burglarat is going to have us all discard a card. Our only means of making tokens is with the Outcast, so Smothering Tithe as well. I think we'll just give up on the Mondrak. Could have gone for discarding the Outcast so that we can get it back with Sun Titan, but I'll probably want to go for something else with Sun Titan. Mondrak's a little bit win more. Blood Artist out again. A Saw Ring for Codie. And then it's a Mind's Dilation. Obviously didn't want anyone to take control of that with the confusion in the ranks. So we can still go for a Tali here if we want to. Okay, a Village Bell Ringer for us, so we're able to do some shenanigans with that at some point maybe. But I think we just need to actually try and get the game going here, so let's try an Atali. So exiling the top card of the library and watch it, this will be a land. Yep, of course it was. Alright, there's a Mana Crypt for us, a Plea for Guidance, Valdaran Bloodcaster, and Gilded Goose. I mean, we'll just get all of these out, no reason not to. So we'll search for a couple of enchantments. I'm not sure what enchantments we've got in here, but might as well grab some. Alright, that's a good one. Trouble in Pairs. Getting a means of haste into play would be good as well. So yeah, Rising of the Day is going to be easier to cast. We'll go Rising of the Day and Trouble in Pairs. I suppose we could have gone Luminarch Ascension there, but hopefully the Dragon Master Outcast is going to allow us to get into some tokens. And we'll turn everything in at the right before this player further interferes with anything. Hopefully be able to knock him out in the next few turns. And what are we discarding here? Are we going to go for Sun Titan next turn? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we get into a land, we can still go for the Smothering Tithe. If we keep Gilded Goose, we can afford it. Yeah, let's discard the Dragon Master Outcast. Ornithopter being cast into the Mind's Dilation this time. And managed to grab an Ongoing Investigation. And that counted as an artifact entering, so another plus counter on this. Makes it a 6-7. And swings straight into the right with both, so 7 damage. Takes him down to 8. Oh, but then makes a map token when swinging in, so another plus counter. Knock him down to 7 then. Okay, Fleshbag Marauder into play again. Still haven't seen the Braids yet, surprisingly. Just exiles a swamp off the top. And manages to grab a Vat of Rebirth. Alright, and I'm not particularly interested in keeping hold of the 2-1, although it's a flyer, so we'll sacrifice the Wood Elves. The extra 2 damage might be relevant against this player. So that means that we get a blood token from the Valdaran Bloodcaster. Blood Artist sacrificed again instead of being kept in play for some reason. With this board state, it's probably a good idea to keep hold of this. And the damage is spread around on the Blood Artist. Pawn of Ulamog after that, so not getting the spawn token. Sneakily got up to 51 life over there though. Then the 1-1 swings into the right. 9 lives now. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent it and put a counter on this. So gonna have to destroy 9 lives if we want to have any chance of knocking them out next turn. This is where we wish that the Blood Artist was still in play, because this is loss of life as opposed to damage. So 9 lives wouldn't protect against that. Don't think they can still survive another turn cycle though, it all depends on what they get off this I suppose. Mirror Maid into play again. So could just make a copy of this. And yeah, just decide to get another copy of that, so go through to the end of the turn, we'll crack the blood token, at which point in keeping hold of that. Okay, there's a Cyclonic Rift, so Mind's Dilation about to effectively give him some card advantage, potentially. Reveals an island, and an Ezrim, So we'll get the Ezreal into play, but it's about to be bounced back to hand by the Rift, assuming that this lands. So let's see here, we can discard the Village Bell Ringer, and then if we are able to get the combo off somehow, we've got Sun Titan hopefully. Alright, gets us into an Ancient Tomb, so yeah, we managed to get into those lands eventually. And they lose the game to the 9 lives because that was bounced back to hand. So finally they go down. Okay, more means of untap shenanigans with a Drum Bellower. Yeah, so do we start doing Terror of the Peaks stuff here? We could go Terror of the Peaks into Sun Titan thanks to the 4 mana in hand. So yeah, let's do that. And then this has 8 toughness, so let's go Sun Titan. And we can... I mean, this has ward anyway, so Terror of the Peaks will point it straight at Terrax for 6 damage on the Sun Titan. And then the Dragon Master Outcast can come into play here so that we can hopefully start making some tokens and actually make use of our commander. No haste on the Sun Titan, unfortunately, so can't swing in and trigger it again. But we'll get rid of the 1-1, which hasn't put a plus counter on itself yet. Morska into play for the first time, followed by Ongoing Investigation, which was put back into the hand by the bounce. Gilded Goose, same thing. And then the 7-8 swings in at us. Does that have Vigilance? Yes, it does. Not going to block with Terror of the Peaks just yet, because that's our ticket out of getting smacked around by the 7-8. Ongoing Investigation triggers, so investigate. 1 card left in the hand at the moment, but is able to draw a second card with the clue token, so triggers the commander for 2 plus counters, and then exiled a creature from a graveyard to investigate and gain a couple of life. Went after the Ornithopter with that. Alright, Smothering Abomination, gonna need to get more creatures into play for that. And Burglar Rat into play again. So we'll get rid of the Drum Bellower thanks to that Seedborn Muse. Alright, so the Dragon Master Outcast going to come into play here. I think it's going to be safe to get rid of the commander as much as I want to deal direct damage. Yeah, the Mana Crypt going to deal 3 damage to us as well, potentially. It does not. Yeah, we make a token here. 5 damage on that. Goes on to our opponent. Basically need to make 7 or 6 after this tokens. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 with our commander. And then we can get another creature into play, Rising Day. Yeah, I don't think we can get rid of the opponent, unfortunately. We'll just have to 0.5 damage at our opponent's commander here. Draw into a Stroke of Midnight, going to take the flying away from the Sentinel, maybe? Yeah, let's go for our commander now, because I'm not sure what we're doing this turn, 100%. So that enters, we'll point everything at Terrax here, and hope that we don't lose out by 5 damage, now that I just used it to get rid of the Morska. Alright, so I'll tap, create a dragon token, and that's 5 damage straight onto Terrax again. Same with the Outcast, we'll do the same with Terror of the Peaks as well. So we get our opponent down to 14 damage, or 14 life, and then if we've got haste, thanks to Rising of the Day, we can reanimate something. We can actually go for the Village Bell Ringer here, can't we? Yeah, that's fine, so definitely get haste on Rising of the Day, and then it swing everything into the right, because we're going to get rid of Terrax with the Terror of the Peaks, hopefully. So trigger Sun Titan, grab the Village Bell Ringer, and that will untap all of our stuff. We'll try and hold on to priority because the Bell Ringer will go on the stack and we'll be able to tap it in response. I think it untaps everything, including itself. So 1 damage, and we'll point that at the Burglar Rat so it can't chump block. Then Village Bell Ringer on the stack, it untaps all creatures, so we'll activate and make another dragon. Before that untaps everything, we'll do the same with the Sun Titan. That has Vigilance and it's already attacking. Tapping it down will not keep it from attacking. And obviously the dragon coming into play, we will point at Terrax. Going to take him down to 4 here. So if we didn't have more stuff to do, we would have definitely made a mistake getting rid of the commander. But Village Bell Ringer untaps everything, and we can basically deal as much damage as we can make dragon tokens here. So we might as well make a copy of a dragon token now. We'll blow up the Smothering Abomination, and we'll put Terrax out of his misery as well, so he doesn't have to stick around. So big thank you to patron of the channel Terax for playing that out. Tap down another dragon. We'll make 3 more here and just deal damage directly to our opponent after we get rid of the abomination. Alright, so taking our opponent down to 36 before the damage is dealt in combat. And we never managed to get the Smothering Tithe down in all that. I don't think it's quite as good now that our other 2 opponents have gone down. Maybe Trouble in Pairs. Okay, got him down to 10. I don't think... yeah, I don't think we can quite get there. We can get him down to 1. Play a Topiary Stomper, that would be quite funny. Although we don't have double green anymore. Mirror Pool. Sacrifice it, make a copy of a token. Yeah, we're 1 mana shy of that as well, otherwise we could have gone after the Sun Titan. Alright, let's go for Trouble in Pairs. Replays the Vat, and followed by Butcher of Malakir, doesn't really do anything. Trouble in Pairs will draw us a card though. And a fitting way to end the game. Finally drawing into a 3 visits. So we won't waste any more time here, we'll just make another dragon token, which will be pointed at our opponent with the Terror of the Peaks, knocking him down to 5. Draw Kodama's Reach, again very fitting, and we'll avoid any attack triggers and just go in with the dragon tokens. So there we are, finally over. I appreciate my opponents playing that out at least. I was worried that we wouldn't actually get a game in with Ghired Mirror of the Wilds before the new set comes out, but managed to squeeze one out there just at the end. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, leave it a thumbs up and consider donating on Patreon if you did enjoy it. And a big thank you to the patrons who have already joined up. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.